All right. Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us for our SOAR webinar series. Today, we have Patrick Madsen here with the University Career Center to talk to you all. My name is Taylor Mallory. I work with New Student Family Services. So if you need anything, go ahead and put that in the Q&A function. I'll go ahead and try to get to anything that you need. Patrick will be doing a question and answer after his presentation. So do not be afraid to put any questions in there and we will get to them shortly. Without further ado, I'll send it over to Patrick.
Thanks, Taylor. So good morning, everybody. My name is Patrick Madsen. I'm the director of the Career Center here at UNC Charlotte, and we are excited to have you guys start in the fall. It's going to be a really cool year for everybody. So today, what I thought I would do is give you a good overview of what a Career Center is all about, some of the specific services that we have. I'm going to talk about some of the events that we have and how do you really mold your mind around using a career center at a university. What it's all about is this idea of purposeful work. That's what everything that we do, all the services that we have, and the mentality that we use to work with students and alumni. Purposeful work goes into this idea of figuring out what is it that you want to study. What is it that you get excited about or energized around in terms of whether it's social impact or money or solving problems or whatever it might be, and then making the good connection to actual jobs and industries that are looking for employees that are engaged. So purposeful work is finding that connection between who you are as a person and the career that you want to eventually go into. And so when you think about a career center, you know, a lot of times people think that, oh, you must just do resumes, you do interviews, you have job postings, and you have career events. Fantastic. Well, we do a lot of that, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than this idea of just the tactics of getting pieces of paper put together and effectively doing an interview. When you think about what's going on today with the recession that we're in, with the pandemic that we are experiencing, and the state of the economy, what it comes down to now is making sure that you are building a recession-proof career, that you are building a brand that could last for the next 30 to 40 years, and understanding what it really takes to connect with opportunity and eventual success as it relates to work. So what we do is we prepare and connect. There's no career center out there that just gives you a job or places you into an internship. We prepare and connect. And when we're connecting you with those opportunities, because you are fully prepared, because your brand is looking great, because your resume is looking pristine, you are naturally going to be seen by those employers now and into the future of your career. We don't have a checklist on this campus of if you just do these things in your freshman, sophomore, and junior year, magic things will happen. Instead, it's about building your story, understanding the story that is you and how you want to express that to employers that are out there. And so the different categories that you see right here, everything from explore to implement, these are the categories and the parts of your story that you are always going to be building, always going to be working on throughout the entire course of your career. And so our career coaches, our team is here to make sure that you're understanding each of these parts and how they play a part and intertwine with each other. How you are exploring what it is that you want to study all the way through what's the kind of work environment that you would thrive in, all the way through, of course, branding and implementing. So ultimately, how we think of higher education is this. The first thing that you are doing is you are building knowledge in the classroom. So your faculty are there to provide you with the knowledge, the experience, the understanding of the disciplines that they are experts in. You are building knowledge from whether it's books or class activities, homework, and all those types of things. And then along the way, both inside and outside the classroom, through a lot of the amazing things that Student Affairs has for you, whether it's clubs and organizations, leadership programs, living on campus, and many other different things, you are building what we call career competencies. And these are the things that employers have been demanding that they see from candidates for the past 15 to 20 years and even beyond in some form or another. So these types of things, whether it's leadership skills, professionalism, self-awareness, all the way through communication and many others here, these are the things that you're going to need to build through all the experiences in and outside the classroom to express to employers so that they can see that you can hit the ground running as an engaged employee and somebody who can really help them as an organization, whether it's making money, solving their problems, or whatever their business line is all about. And these competencies we have a really cool technology that's called Competency Compass. And once you have your 800 number all signed up, you can go to our website, click on that link, and you can start to learn all the different ways across campus that you can build these skills. What we believe is that we need to categorize all the opportunities that exist on this campus, from being in a student club and organization, or being a leader of that club and organization, or joining in on some of the challenge courses, or whatever it might be. We want to show you the competencies that you are working on by deciding to engage in those activities. And then furthermore, it's going to help you understand how to explain it to employers. So we give you ideas of how to put it on your resume, how to talk about it in an interview, and more importantly, how to analyze a job description to understand what the employer really wants from you. And if they decide and they say that we're looking for somebody who can powerhouse the understanding of what teamwork is, then this gives you the opportunity while you're here with us at UNC Charlotte to find those activities that you can practice being on a team so that you can tell that employer, yes, I know what you're talking about when it's around team. And then finally, as you build that knowledge, you practice and build those competencies, you get the opportunity to apply them to one or many different industries that exist out there. We call them career communities. We believe that an academic major does not necessarily equal a career. So for example, you might have nursing equals nursing, but we want you to understand that you are finding the opportunity to study what you want to study and that you love to study. Because frankly speaking, if you love what you're studying, you're more likely to go to class. If you're more likely to go to class and read the books and do the homework, you're going to get better grades. If you get better grades, you're more likely to get the better internships. If you're getting the better internships, you're more likely getting into the better graduate schools and getting those full-time jobs that you want. It's simple logic. And so major does not equal career. It helps you understand that you're studying, you can map it to many different types of organizations, many different types of industries. And I'll give you a prime example. I studied psychology as an undergrad. I decided to go into additional education around counseling programs and eventually became career coach and otherwise. My older brother also studied psychology, and he decided to apply that towards the finance and banking industry, and that's where he is today, 20, 30 years later after graduation. So the idea that you get to apply these competencies and the skills that you've created to many different types of industries that exist out there is an amazing thing for you to understand. So I encourage you all, when you are looking through the Career Services website, when you're getting on our product called Hire Niner, join one or more of these career communities, because you're going to get specialized job and internship listings. You're going to get specialized workshops and events that are happening. And of course, a lot more information to help you augment and orient yourself towards that particular career community. Now, there's always going to be students out there that say, I have no clue what I want to be when I grow up. And you know what? That is fantastic and very, very fine. Because what this first year is all about is understanding you, understanding what's out there, understanding what you like and what you don't like, exploring and collecting information. And there's a couple ways that we can help you do that, whether it's through our career coaches or simply online. We have something called Pathways U. And once again, you have your 800 number. You can jump into this product and start to take some online assessments around your values, or your interests, your strengths, your personality, and it's going to naturally start to connect you with different types of career paths that you might want to explore. There is no assessment out there that will tell you what you should be when you grow up. That doesn't exist. This just helps you take everything out of your brain, put it on, quote, paper, if you will, and then connect with new ways and new things and new avenues that you should research later on. Now, we also have something called Wicked Whammy. What can I do with a major in? And this is a website. You can just Google that funny name, UNCC, and it's going to take you to our page that helps you understand that if you decide to study X, what have other students or past graduates have done with that academic major? So you can kind of flip it, if you will, and say, well, I love psychology. What the heck can I do with it? We'll give you some ideas of where you can start. And of course, the handy dandy going and checking out the academic majors that exist out there. Sometimes just looking through the list of what UNC Charlotte has to offer will help spark some ideas in you and also help you understand the types of courses that you might want to, that might interest you, if you will. Now, on our career development team, we have career coaches. There's always going to be people just like myself who doesn't really want to take an assessment online, but they want to talk to somebody. So we have a team of career coaches that are available. And during the fall, we'll have both in-person availability, virtual appointments, and of course, phone appointments if you like, and of course, quick drop-in chats, if you will. This is your opportunity to bounce ideas off of somebody. And the career coaching appointments are all about helping you explore the strategy behind finding what it is that you want to do and eventually going after it, if you will. We do have drop-in hours, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., both in person and virtual at this point in time. So that these are really for those, hey, I just have quick questions, or can somebody just look at my resume, or I just want some advice on interviewing. These are these really quick 10 to 15 minute sorts of sessions that are just in time. And this gives you the ability with the appointments and the drop-in service for us to be able to serve you as quick as possible without you having to wait 6 and 7 weeks to actually talk with somebody. And then aside from the drop-in and appointments, of course we do mock interviews. We have career treks or opportunities for you to visit organizations just to see what they're all about. And these are for our freshmen through seniors, for you to get a sense of what it's really like to work in X organization, for example, or XYZ type of career function or job. And then of course, panels and meetups that exist out there. Our career meetups are 30-minute sessions. And what these are really quick 15-minute presentations, much like this. And then the rest of the time is answering the specific questions that you have. What we have found from our data is that students typically don't want to sit in an hour workshop. Instead, they just want the very specific information, answering their specific questions, and then they can move on to their classes or whatever else that they do on campus. And so we're meeting this with over 200 different meetups that happen throughout each semester on very tailored and specific topics for you all. Now on experience, of course, this is all about building resume capital, meaning stuff on your resume that you can market and talk to employers about. There are so many different ways for you to actually get this type of experience. And here's a few sample ones, if you will. Of course, we all know about internships. Yes, we help you connect with internship opportunities that exist out there. And for those of you who are thinking of technology or engineering, co-ops is basically a long internship. We have something called a UPIP program on campus, University Professional Internship Program. And you can learn all about this on our website. And what this is are essentially internships on campus. These are targeting our freshmen, sophomore, juniors primarily, but seniors are welcome to apply as well, to provide you an opportunity to get that first internship on campus where you can still be able to study and do your stuff. And then you can leverage that towards an external internship or an internship at another organization. So it's helping you build that experience along the way. And oh, by the way, experience does include volunteering. It does include part-time jobs if you currently have some, or you're looking at other student campus jobs. And of course, research. We have an undergraduate research center that is a fantastic opportunity for those of you who love research or want to go into those types of fields. The point here is that as you process through this university, you need to concentrate and focus on what experience are you building that also goes hand in hand with the knowledge that you are gaining from those classes. The combination of both will help you become a well-rounded candidate as you're talking with employers and of course graduate programs that are out there. So how do we connect employers to this campus? We have a team of what we call employer relations representatives, and they go out there and talk to employers and organizations about you, the candidate. And so what that means is when they go out there for this region, the state, and to some extent the nation, they are inviting them to be a part of our career fairs, our networking nights, the conferences, industry meetups, and many other connecting points that employers, quote, either come on campus or these days virtual as well, to talk with you and to provide you two things. One is an idea of what their organization and industry is all about. But then of course, two, internships, full-time jobs, and micro internships and the things of that nature. So that's that connecting thing. Our job is to put all of these parties in one place, if you will, so that you guys can work your magic, market yourself effectively, and learn from these employers, and of course, hopefully get hired from them as well. Hire a Niner. This link is on our main website. This is your central portal to everything career services. So once you go in there, this is where we put all the on-campus jobs all the way through full-time jobs. All of our career events are in there, career fairs, networking nights, a lot of resources, our resume books, and many other different things in one place. And oh, by the way, everything is going to be free for life, which means you can use this same Hire Niner 10 years from now as you're looking at your career. All right, so lastly, students always ask me, well, what should I be doing? What's the quick game plan? If you can just do this in a couple minutes. Here you go. Before you graduate, you need to think about getting that experience. You need to have stuff on your resume that you feel confident in, that you love, and that represents you well to be able to market yourself to that next stage. GPA, a GPA still matters. Now, it's not the first thing that employers tend to look at, but it is still something that's very important. And the foundation in your first year of a solid GPA can set you up for success later on in two ways. One, if you start off with a good, strong GPA in your first year, it makes it easier to maintain it throughout your experience in higher education. And then the second reason is because a lot of academic programs have GPA minimums to be able to officially jump into their particular major. And so you want to monitor those as you're looking at areas of interest to study. And then, of course, as you start to look at those bits and pieces, those resumes, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, and so on and so forth, yes, you need to have a polished, good-looking document and or LinkedIn profile so that you can match the process that most organizations tend to use, which is they want to see a resume, they want to see a LinkedIn profile, and yes, they want to see a strong interview from the candidate. And so all of those things will help you all along the way. And I do believe now is the time to get that quote high school resume if you're coming from high school, or your current resume up to the next stage with our office. And you can simply do that by jumping into Hire Niner, adding your resume, and somebody's going to review it and get it into our system. It's a great opportunity to start strong as you move into this next year. Here's just a sampling of some of the major employers that have partnered with us, been on campus, have done things over numerous years. And this is some of many, 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 many that are out there and always transitioning. Okay, so at this time, I would love to invite you guys to ask any questions. We have a Q&A question area that you can type in your questions. And what we're going to do is, we have about another 10 to 15 minutes in this room. So type your questions that you might have. I'm going to answer them as they come in. If you feel that you got everything you need and you're saying, Patrick, this is fantastic, I got what I needed, I'll see you in the fall, it does not hurt my feelings if you go ahead and log out, and that just lets me know that you got what you needed. And while we're waiting for those of you to type in any questions you might have, I have a couple questions that I know were pre-asked, if you will. One was specifically about internships and what do we do to support you. Much like I said, there's a lot of different types of internships that exist out there. You have your typical academic credit-based internships that either the academic program helps you connect with or our office. You have your non-credit, paid or unpaid internships that are your traditional ones that exist out there. We have a lot of them that come in throughout the year, not just summer, but fall, spring, and summer. So I encourage you to make sure that you understand where you want to go with your career, what kind of organizations you're targeting, and of course, pay attention to Hire Niner and other sites that collect those kinds of postings as well. And work with your career coach on new ways to develop them. And then also, I encourage you guys to think through micro internships. So these are very short-term experiences, and this is becoming bigger and bigger as the industries change and the recession impacts and the companies look through what they're looking for in terms of candidates. These are anything that could be 2 weeks long, up to 4 weeks long, and they're project-based. So a lot of times an employer will say, I have this very quick project, 2 weeks long, I just need somebody's help to do it. That's a micro internship, and it's a fantastic opportunity for you to gain a variety of experience that are out there. So we have resources around that as well. And then lastly, on the internship route, remember that you have the opportunity to hopefully develop an internship with an organization that may not have something posted. And so this is very useful for your nonprofit, maybe government, local government, and other organizations out there who may not have the experience of building something, and you have the opportunity to work with them to build an internship and then do the internship. And so if you're looking for those types of coaching advice, you can make an appointment with our team, and we can help you walk through what that might look like and how you might be able to build something with an organization. Now, the second question the pre-question that I saw on there was about resumes, and a couple advice points on how do you update a resume and make sure it's looking fantastic moving into this next year. First thing is format. Now, making sure that you are paying attention to some typical formats that are related to the industry that you might want to go into, and or general formats that are existing out there. When you go to our website, we have what's called a career guide that our team has a series of recommended formats that you can start with to just take a look at how you're representing yourself right now and making that switch to the next level in your career. You'll want to remember that it's not just about having part-time jobs and internships on a resume, but you can also think through research or presentations you've done or activities on campus that you've done, or even activities that you've done before you've come to us at this point in time. And then, of course, relevant coursework and a lot of other aspects that you are building that you can talk to an employer about. All right, so those are the two pre-questions that I had. If you have a question that you want me to answer, or an area you want me to dig a little bit deeper into, jump on that Q&A and just type away, and I'll be happy to answer those. And I invite Taylor, if she has a couple questions too, she can always pop back in and ask them as well. If you've got what you needed, you can go ahead and log out. It doesn't hurt my feelings whatsoever. We're so excited to have you guys in the fall. As we're waiting for any questions to be typed in, I'm going to give you a micro commercial. How about that? We have a new podcast that we started a couple months ago called Career Bits. You can find it off our career website up at the top, called Career Bits, and it's on all the podcast fancy things that are out there. You can tell how much I know about podcasts. And what we why we decided to do this is that, at the start of this whole work from home sort of situation, we were finding there were so many jobs that were still being posted, so much new resources and existing resources that existed, that we didn't want to flood our students with millions of emails. Instead, we did a weekly Career Bits summary of some of the cool things we found, events that we had, and we posted it out there. So it's about 10 to 15 minutes per session, if you will. So if you're like me, you love running or weightlifting or cleaning house or whatever it is, and you want to listen to a podcast, jump into the Career Bits and see what you have, what's exciting to you. So we got a question in here. What should freshmen put on that first resume? National academic awards, babysitting jobs? I think all of those are fine. So as you think about becoming a freshman, your junior, senior, high school stuff, if you will, is still relevant. And so I would build your initial resume around those experiences that you are bringing with you into our university as a freshman. And then as you matriculate through higher education, about maybe your junior year, a lot of the high school stuff will start to drift away or off your resume, and then your freshman, sophomore college stuff will start to take its place. And so that's kind of how you think about the nuances of this transitional type of resume that you're building. And even as so you have an 800 number because you're starting in the fall, you can start using our services right now, which means you can jump onto our Hire 9er page and our drop-in service and start getting that resume polished and put together so that you're ready to go. We have also a ton of on-campus jobs that are starting to be posted and or continue to be posted on Hire 9er that, again, as you have an 800 number and you're in our system, you should be able to start applying to them after you have that first resume put into the system. Great question. All right, next micro commercial, as I'm waiting for any questions you guys might have or areas you want me to dig into, is around career fairs. So we are still having them. They're going to be virtual, and we have a really cool product that will allow you to add your resume to their pile or chat with them and do a virtual video conversation with a recruiter who's at a, quote, virtual booth. So you'll see a number of those. We have a virtual on-campus job fair. We're going to have a part-time job fair, and of course our massive fall career fair that typically brings in a couple hundred employers, depending on what's going on with the economy right now. So all of those will be off our website, and even as a freshman, I would still encourage you to attend. At least you could, quote, virtually walk around and see what's out there and talk to some recruiters about their organization. That's the information collecting process. And then secondly, our networking nights are all about connecting you with the opportunity, but also a learning process. These networking nights are usually 20 to 30 employers, very specific to our career communities. And these are going to be done through a technology called Hopin, where you'll be able to enter each person's room and just talk with them and randomly network with other professionals that are in the virtual session as well. So it's a great opportunity for you to practice how to network, and specifically how to network online, which is going to be very much the wave of the future, even after we get through the COVID-19 situation. We got about another 5 to 7 minutes in this room. So if you have questions, go ahead and throw them into the Q&A box. If you don't and you got what you need, you can jump on out, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the fall. As you are either typing in or thinking through whether you're going to stay or jump out of the room, I encourage you to check out Student Affairs on campus. Student Affairs is all about the experience that higher education brings you, from the leadership programs to student organizations, the housing, to many different other opportunities for you, not only to meet new students, engage in the process, but get those resume builders, get that resume capital that I'm talking about. I have found over the many years of doing this that those who are engaged on campus tend to do a little bit better in terms of job opportunities and otherwise than those who haven't engaged. Now, that doesn't mean you need to engage in every single thing that a university has, but be strategic. Be strategic with your time and your intention for joining a club or fraternity, sorority, or whatever else exists out on campus. Be strategic. And what does it mean, and what are you trying to do with that experience, besides meeting cool students and staff members on campus? So Student Affairs, you can, I'm sure you can Google Student Affairs, UNCC to just see the entire division and all the breadth of what it is that they offer students on campus. All right, a couple more minutes. Any final questions from the audience? Type them in. You can check out our social media as a Career Center as well, and just stay in the know on some of the cool things we throw out there. We're on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. YouTube has a lot of the self-help videos that you can check out, and some of our historical stuff as well. Very cool stuff. We have a really great team in the Career Center, and they're all here to serve you now and into the future. All right, I'm going to give it maybe just a few more seconds, and then I'm going to turn it over to my friend Taylor to close us out. It has been a pleasure to talk with you all. Taylor, I'm going to turn it back over to you to close us out.
Yes, thank you, Patrick, so much for letting us know about the University Career Center. I encourage you all to go ahead and check that out. Please feel free to reach out to them and all the events and resources that they have this upcoming semester. They are a great resource for students. And if you are looking for other webinars, please do check out our YouTube channel. We have all these recordings up so you can go back and look through them. But if you have no more questions, that is all. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Go Niners.